Hi guys, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be my second update on my Deck of Panning project pan. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Yori. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you're going to enjoy it, and if so, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up while you're watching and hit the subscribe button if you would like to be friends. Now without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the video. This is going to be my third video in this series now, so I will go ahead and link my introduction video up in the cards, as well as Emilynmax's channel, who is the creator of the Deck of Panning project pan. Briefly, we just use a deck of cards that has assigned prompts for selecting products on a spreadsheet that changes every single month, and we use that to select products that we would like to pan or use in some kind of goal or capacity. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my updates. The first two products that I had were from my initial draw, and these were the Odenzai and Annette and Odenzai and the Fancy Face eyeshadow palettes. These were in response to the prompt of an influencer collaboration, and my goal was to use each palette twice. If you all follow me on Instagram, you know I've had a really rough few months. Long story short, I've lost 3 long-time pets in the last 3 months, and I just haven't felt like wearing makeup. None of it. You know, I get up and I shower and I make myself look human for work, and that's about it. That's about all I can manage right now. So I haven't made very much progress this month. If you follow me on Instagram, you already knew that. But anyway, my goal was to use each of these palettes twice, and I have used the Fancy Face palette twice. Man, I really love this palette. I really enjoyed it. Every time I created a look with it, I really loved it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the inside. Here's what the palette looks like, and even though it looks colorful, it can be quite wearable, and I like that the matte formula is a formula that you can actually build up. I go into more details on this palette, and I'm actually wearing it on my all the palettes I used in February video, which I will go ahead and link up in the cards if you would like to hear more details about my experience with this palette, but I loved it. This is the other palette that I wanted to include, but unfortunately I just have not gotten around to using this one just yet. It's a very beautiful palette. Would have actually gone really well with the clothes that I'm wearing today, but I used another project pan palette on my eyes today. So I will go ahead and keep this in my project pan, and I will go ahead and return the Fancy Face palette to my collection, but I'm not done with that specific goal. I anticipate I could probably get the 2 uses for this one maybe by the April goal. I thought I would be able to get it, you know, by this time around, but it just wasn't meant to be. The next item in my project is the MAC Face and Body Foundation. I have the giant size packaging in the 4 fluid ounce. It's kind of the pro size, and my goal with this one was to completely use it up, and I have been actually trying to mark it, but because I have to shake this foundation really well before using it, it never truly settles all the way down. Even though this is a clear plastic bottle, it never truly settles, and I've been marking it to try to determine more or less where I am. And since I have another bottle of this foundation from the reformulated version, I wanted to go ahead and finish this one up and get it out of my collection. So far this year, I've used it 4 times. That was the same as where I was last time. I'm trying a different foundation that I bought in the month of February right now, and so when I have worn makeup, I've kind of been trying that foundation, and this one just took a back seat. So that one is pending. And incidentally, this one was in response to the prompt of an oldest product in my collection. For newest product in my collection, I had the Vesca highlighter. This is the highlighter in the shade Moonlight. My goal for this one was to use it 15 times, and I'm looking at my notes. I have used it a total of 10 times, including today, so this one is still going strong. I do enjoy using the highlighter. Usually I'll incorporate it by either using it as a highlighter or underneath my brows or on my inner corner, and it's a very nice highlighter, but just goes to show how little highlighter we actually need, in that in 2 months time I've only been able to use it 10 times. Now I've incorporated other highlighters in that time too, but still I have maybe like 100 highlighters, so it's really eye-opening. Doing this project is really teaching me quite a lot about my makeup collection. So we'll keep this one in the rotation. I anticipate that this one I will be able to accomplish those last 5 uses by the next time that I report back, which will be on the 20th of next month, so the 20th of April. This month I'm a little bit behind. The next item I actually finished last month, so I'll skip on that one, and then the one after that was a hair product. I'm gonna pop a picture because it's in my room in my empties. I just don't feel like getting up to grab it, so I'll pop a picture up on the screen, but it was a hair mask I elected to incorporate into my project pan for the prompt of a hair product, and my goal was to completely use it. It wasn't brand new when I started, but I I was able to get 10 more uses out of it. And when I was looking at it, I thought, okay, maybe it has like 3 or 4 more uses. No, I got 10 full uses out of that hair mask. So that was my very first update of a completed goal for this month. In my last update, I was able to draw one product, and I elected to incorporate the Natasha Denona Mini Xenon palette, which is this little guy right here, and this is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. My goal with this little palette was to make 2 looks, and that was in response to a prompt of a random color generator. I got a graphite gray or something like that, some gray color, and this definitely fits the bill. So this is the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. It is my second time wearing it, and so this goal has been accomplished. I know that 2 uses is not too much, but because this is such a limiting color story, I thought that 2 uses would give me a really good idea about how I felt about the palette, and it's one that I incorporated because I'd really been wanting that colitis one. So with this one, I'm happy to report that my goal is complete. Now let's go ahead and get into the fun part where I get to draw new cards to represent the items that have left my collection. Because I achieved 2 goals this time around, I'm gonna go ahead and draw 2 cards. I've seen other creators that are doing this project. They'll randomly draw an extra card or 2 each time they have an update, but I think since this is my first real project pan, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to draw cards to replace items that I've accomplished the goals for, or when I haven't accomplished any goals and I just want to kind of keep the project going, then I will draw an additional card. So for today, I get to draw 2 cards, and I have my typical card deck with 1 joker. Let's go ahead and give them a good shuffle. I shuffled my card deck and I went ahead and I pulled up the spreadsheet with what all the different cards represent. So in drawing the very first card, just gonna hold them out kind of like this and just randomly pick one. This looks like a good one. All right, here's my first card, Jack of Hearts. I've been getting so many face cards this time around, and the face cards actually don't change. This one represents the whole collection roulette. The whole collection roulette actually requires, well, it doesn't require, but it would be best if you have an entire makeup inventory, which I do not have. No way. And you would just randomly select a number that corresponds to your makeup inventory. I don't have that, so Emily did say in her intro video that one thing could be like reaching into a random drawer and just blindly selecting an item. So that is probably what I'm going to do for this card. All right, gonna pick my second card now. And we have the Ace of Spades. This also corresponds to a face card in this case. And the Ace of Spades is to add another product. How does that work? Ah, we get to draw 2 more cards, I see. Okay, why not? All right, so my first card is going to be the 2 of Diamonds. Set that aside. And my next one, the 9 of Spades. So let's take a look what these represent. The 2 of Diamonds represents a wild card. So this is listed as pick anything you want or a free space, which I'm trying to figure out, does that mean that I pick any prompt from the board? Or does that mean that I just pick any product based on anything? I might have to do a little research on that. There is a prompt for a pick your space, which would mean you can pick any of the prompts on the board. But since this is wild card and a free item, I'm going to assume that this means any item I want. If I'm wrong, if you do the project pan, let me know. And then the 9 of Spades this time around represents something that matches my eye color. My eye color is brown, so I'm going to go ahead and pick any item and something brown. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and I had forgotten I had a third card. So the first card I pulled was the Jack of Hearts. This was supposed to be a random item from my makeup inventory, so I decided to pull in a face palette because I have found that I have really neglected my face palette drawer. So I just opened up my face palette drawer. I wasn't looking. I reached in and I pulled out the Too Faced Sugar Peach Wet and Dry palette. It's ridiculous how many items in my collection are new. It's ridiculous. So here she is, the Sugar Peach. I don't think this is even available anymore, and yet here I have it completely unused. It's got like a highlighter and maybe 3 blushes when comparing it to my skin tone. Depending on your skin tone, you may interpret them differently. I remember Emily Noel used to love this palette, and I used to love the peach collection. Still smells like peach, and so I did purchase this palette. What kind of goal should we put on these. Let's say using each product at least twice. So this way it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to aim to use every product in this palette at least twice. The next card I drew was the Two of Diamonds, and this one corresponded to a wild card item. And so I elected to pull in these two glitters from Valentino. These are the Dream Dust Multi-Reflective Eye Glitters, and I purchased two. I shared them in a haul. I'll go ahead and show you this one first. There's what that one looks like. I shared them in a haul. I swatched them for you. And then I never got around to using them because I have no idea why. Why am I this way? So my goal is to use each of these, say, twice. It's the first one you saw is like a neutral brown, and then the other one that I have is this emerald green one. I love wearing green eyeshadow, and you know, I can top any look with this glitter just for that added glitz and glam. This one is in the shade Emerald Queen, and the first one I showed you was Gold for Gold. So I will go ahead and place a goal of using each of these items twice. The last one was the Nine of Spades. This one corresponded to something matching my eye color, and I went with what you probably thought I was gonna choose, which is a bronzer. I was thinking about choosing a lipstick, but I kind of like to have a lot of flexibility in playing with my lip products, so I decided to go for a bronzer. And yes, it's another brand new one in my collection that I've never gotten around to using. And this one is the ColourPop Face and Body Bronzing Balm by Soul Body, and I have mine in the shade Medium. This was very popular, and it was going around that this was a dupe for the Chanel bronzer. And so here's what it looks like. There it is in its pristine condition. Smells good. All right, so this will be a bronzer that I will incorporate. Now, what should we put? We have to put a goal. I keep sticking to like two uses. No, for a bronzer, 2 uses is not going to cut it. What do you think? 10? 10 uses? 5 uses? Let's go for 10. Let's challenge ourselves and say we are going to use the Soul Body bronzer 10 times. That should definitely be enough for me to determine if this is something that I actually enjoy. So there we have it, 3 new items and 3 new goals to incorporate into my project pan. That's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If so, let me know by giving it a big thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. I don't have a set upload schedule, so you're also gonna wanna ring the bell so that you're notified every single time I upload. I do share those updates on Twitter as well, and I'm active on Instagram and TikTok, so if you enjoy those platforms, I would love to see you over there as well. If you're curious about the details of this project pan, then make sure to check out my intro video or Emilynmax, the creator of this project. She is always linked in the description box down below, as well as the link to the game board and all the rules in case you're interested in hopping on board. Thanks again for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing really well and hanging in there, and I look forward to seeing you again really, really soon on my next one. Bye-bye.